Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Dr. Sheikh Harshid from its Academy, Bimna Hamdani College, Sector D. Dear students, today we are going to discuss about the letter writing. So, dear students, we must know first of all what is letter writing. A letter writing is a kind of written message that is sent to a person. Or we can say it is a kind of document which is used to send any kind of information or any kind of communication. So basically in basic classes we talk about the mainly two types of the letter. That is the informal letter and the formal letter. So today in this class especially we are going to discuss about the informal letter. So what is informal letter? Informal letter is the letter that is written to friends, colleagues or relatives. Or moreover it can be written to sir or ma'am if you have the private relation or private affairs with the sir or ma'am, then you can write the informal letter to the sir or ma'am. So in the informal letter, what are the procedures or what are the rules that you have to keep in mind while writing any kind of informal letter? First of all, what you have to do, in this informal letter, this letter is divided into 6 main parts. What are the parts? First part is called as the from address, and second part is called as the date, then there is the salutation, then there is the main body, and fifth one is the subscription, and sixth one is the signature. First of all, from address, or it is also called as the sender's address. In the sender's or from address, there are two different styles. One style is called the block style and another is called the indented style. Both the styles are permissible while writing any kind of informal letter. But what is the difference between the block style and the indented style? So if we see the from address, there are sub parts of the from address. That is, I can show you here. That is Sheikh Wala, then Kuchmala, then Tral, then Pulwama. Then there is the pin code of the district. If we join the first letter of each and every sub part of the from address, it becomes a vertical line that is horizontal. That is perpendicular to the horizontal line. So this is the block style, but there is another part of the from address that is called the indented style. In the indented style, what you have to do, you have to repeat the same address, but first letter of the each and every sub part of the from address, when they join together, that becomes a kind of indented line. So this becomes a shape of indent. So this style is also permissible in writing informal letter. But commonly we use the block style while writing in any kind of informal letter. Second part of the informal letter is the date. Date is written at the base of this from address. So you have to write the date in different forms. First of all, what you have to do, if you want to write, suppose this day is the 11th January, you have to write 11th January 2023. If you want to make the short form of the any kind of the month, that is here we have the January. If we want to make the abbreviation form, that is Jan, then what you have to do, you have to change this 11th into ordinal. You have to make this 11th Jan to 2023. After that, there is another type of the date which can be written in the informal letter, that is 11/01/23. In between you have to put oblique, and fourth one, that is 11-01-03. So there are 4 different types of the formats of the date you can write in the informal letter. After this, there is the main important part of the informal letter, that is the salutation. While writing a salutation, you have to keep it in mind whether I am going to write the informal letter to my friend or relative or any kind of sir or ma'am. If you have the private relation with the sir or ma'am, then what you have to mention in the salutation, suppose if you are going to write to any friend. So if you want to write the informal letter to the friend, you can write dear friend, you can write dear friend Hamid, you can write dear Mr. Hamid. or you can write dear Dr. Hamid, or you can write dear Engineer Hamid. So in a different ways you can mention the name of your friend. Then you had to keep it in mind while writing letters, informal letters to a friend. You have to keep in mind the subscription also, because salutation and subscription are the two important parts of the letter, informal letter, where you can check the sigle of the letter. Because if you want to write letters to the friends, that is dear friend, you have to write at the end of the letter, that is subscription part. These four subscription parts are mainly for the purpose of only friends. Suppose if you want to write here to the friend, to any kind of friend, then you have to put with wishes, with best wishes, with regards, with warm regards. So in the subscription part, you have to keep it in mind whether the letter is written to a friend or any kind of relative or sir or ma'am, if they have the private relation with them. So salutation and the subscription part are the two parts of the informal letter that are very important in the informal letter. So dear friend Hamid, dear Mr. Hamid, dear Dr. Hamid. So you have to write among these four types of subscriptions to these friends, such as with wishes, with best wishes, with regards, with warm regards. After that, if you want to write a letter, an informal letter to a relative, somebody dear, you want to write the letter to your mother, brother, sister, or uncle, then what you have to do, dear father, dear uncle, dear brother, dear sister, dear son. And the subscription part, what you have to mention, with love, with great love, with affection, your loving one, yours loving. These are the different types of the subscription that you have to suppose it to be written after that, when there is mention in the salutation part about the relatives. That is, if you want to write a letter, an informal letter to any kind of relative. After that, if you have a private relation or any kind of affair with the sir or ma'am, so you can write an informal letter to them also. So if you write here dear sir, dear ma'am, otherwise there is not permissible that you can mention dear sir, dear ma'am. But on the basis of the private affairs, on the basis of the private relation with the sir or ma'am, you can use dear sir or dear ma'am. So for them, you have to use the yours faithfully and yours obediently. And after that, you can use yours respectively. But that is absurd. That is not oftenly mentioned in the informal letter. So in the particular salutations, there are particular subscriptions. You have to keep it in mind. So in order to check the sigle of any kind of informal letter, you have to put your gallons over the salutation and the subscription. Both the parts of the informal letter are very important, because for any kind of salutation, there is respect to subscription that you have to mention at the last part of the informal letter. So these are the this is the fourth part. Salutation is the third part of the informal letter. Then there is the fifth part of the subscription of the informal letter. In between there is the man body. That is the fourth part of the informal letter. In the man body, you have to mention all the details what you are going to write to any kind of friend or relative or sir or ma'am. You have to put important points, important sentence in the man body. You have to remove all the unimportant which have no value in the letter writing. You should not mention these kinds of sentences in the man body. So man body should be very much concise. It should be very much logical. There should be the certain kind of reason that why you are going to write any kind of informal letter to your friend or any kind of relative or your sir or ma'am. After that, at the final of the informal letter, you have to mention the signature. So you have to put your name and you have to write your name at the end of the letter. So these are the 6 parts of the informal letter. That is from address, or we can say sender's address. There are 2 types of this from address, block style. Then there is the indented style. After that, you have to mention the date. On these two you have to mention on the right side of the informal letter. After that, there is the salutation. After salutation, you can mention what are the details you want to write to your friend or any kind of relative. That should be mentioned in the main body. After that, there is the subscription part. At the final of the letter, there is the signature. So these are the 6 parts of the informal letter. So dear students, this is the informal letter. And in the next class, we come up with a new lecture. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.